Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 16 NFL previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings. This game will take place in Cincinnati, who comes in with a record of 9-5, coming off a loss to Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, but they still sit atop the AFC North. And you have Minnesota at 4-9-1, coming off of probably their most impressive victory of the season last week at home versus Philadelphia. And, that win versus Philly, very much a surprise in that they score 48 points, and they do so without arguably the best offensive player in the NFL in Adrian Peterson. You expect Peterson to play this week. Matt Castle now, you assume will get the starts from here on out for the Vikings. And, how do the Vikings play on the road? They're 0-6-1 on the road, and they're going to Cincinnati to play a team that's 6-0 at home. So certainly, definitely a disparity there. You have Cincinnati, who in their last 3 games at home has scored over 40 points in those games. And, that's something that you can't deny, the fact that they've absolutely routed teams at home, most recently the Colts by a score of 42-28. And for Cincinnati, look, they're trying to play to stay ahead of the Colts for that 3rd seed in the AFC. If you're the Colts or the Bengals, okay, you're pretty much going to be the 3 and 4 seeds at this point. You're trying with all your might to avoid playing the Chiefs in that 4 or 5 game. So the Bengals still with a lot to play for. You look at the Bengals, Andy Dalton versus this Vikings secondary. Nick Foles had a huge day last week in spite of Minnesota winning the game. Can Andy Dalton expose them down the field? I look for A.J. Green to have a big game, but that's sort of easy to say. Where I see a lot of the mismatches for Cincinnati is the fact that they're very deep in their receiving core with Marvin Jones, with Mohamed Sanu, with the 2 tight ends, Gresham and Eifert. And I think that depth is going to prove to be very beneficial against a Vikings secondary that is limited, to say the least. And, I think it's going to take a great game from Adrian Peterson to keep the Vikings in this game. I know the Vikings are coming off their best performance of the season, but, I can't expect Matt Castle on the road against a very good pass defense, certainly a lot better pass defense than the Eagles put out there. And especially at home, the Bengals play better on defense as a whole, as a team as a whole. Can Matt Castle go in there and put up the prolific numbers he did last week? I don't think he can. So that's why I put a lot of onus on Minnesota's success on their pass rush on defense and on, certainly Adrian Peterson. And, can they disrupt the rhythm of Andy Dalton? I think will be key because I think Dalton will have open receivers down the field if given time. And, I think by the time all this stuff plays out here and the dust settles, I think you look for a big game from Andy Dalton. I think Matt Castle sort of reverts back, to just an average quarterback, which is essentially what he is. And especially on the road, I think you see Cincinnati force some turnovers. I think you see them keep their perfect record at home. I like Cincinnati -7 at home versus Minnesota, a team that plays hard for Leslie Frazier. There's no denying that. And a guy I don't think they should be so quick to dismiss and fire, but it looks like they're headed down that road. But I think they fall short again just due to a lack of overall talent there in their back, in their back 7 on defense. Guys, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. I preview every game every week. I'm always talking the news of the day in the NFL. Be talking a lot of NFL draft here in the next couple months as well. So it's free. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.